Hello, I'm Alistair Band, Head of Community here at Boson Protocol, and joining me today is a master of the metaverse, Ray Liu himself, one of the co-founders of BitCountry and serial entrepreneur based in New Zealand. How are you doing?
Hi, Alistair. Good. Thanks for inviting me here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, Boson Protocol, we are doing a lot of work around metaverses and bringing commerce to the metaverse. So it's an absolute honor to be here with you and talking about what BitCountry are doing, because we're interested in all of the metaverses from all over the place. So please tell me, what makes BitCountry different from any other like decentralized metaverse platforms? For example, like Decentraland or Voxels. What makes you stand out from the rest?
Awesome. That's a great question. And I've heard so much about Boston, especially with the recent land purchase on Decentraland. So good job. And I also believe that the future e-commerce will sit in the metaverse. I think Boston Protocol doing a great job. So BitCountry enable everyone to start their own metaverse. For example, Boston can create a Boston Kingdom, or one of your customer can create their own metaverse. And for you can create the band world or kingdom, and that's what we do. So people come to BitCountry because of you, not because of us, because everyone can create their own brand, their own metaverse. For example, each metaverse you can create your own social token, and a social token is a back native token new. You have your own local marketplace, NFT minting facility, and also you can mint your own land. And behind the land, that's the 3D world. People can engage with the 3D buildings, have this metaverse experience, and also they can choose to play a game that created by our developer community. So we do support games that created by the user, like a Roblox, if you've heard of it. So this, we believe that with the games and the economy, they'll fill up the metaverse with the souls, and then we can make the user more appealing. Second thing is we actually develop our own blockchain using substrate technology from Polkadot, and then we want to become parachain. One of the reasons we want to develop our own blockchain protocol is because we can manage the gas fees. We have a lot more control and to build into the protocol layer, and then customize for NFT usage and the metaverse features. So that's our second point of difference. Overall, we found our solution is very appealing to organizations and influencers because they can use their own metaverse to manage their community, grow the community, bring the engagement level to a Web3 standard. That's why in our seed round, we have a lot of influencers get involved. And also we like to working with the Boson Protocol to see how can we add value to your e-commerce initiative.
Awesome. Sounds good. One of the traditional problems, with any decentralized sort of project and I guess becoming a DAO is governance. Like how do you incentivize people to act in the right way? Like, have you thought about the kind of the game theory around your governance model yet?
There's multiple levels of governance on BitCountry. So we have a network governance because we run our own blockchain. That means we have a council. Council members are elected, and then there are two different councils, mainly for managing the technical upgrades. Technical council. The second council will be managing the treasury. They will manage how we spend our news from our treasury, how we distribute to the community, how we incentivize the network, how we use that to reward our staff. At the BitCountry level, each BitCountry you run your own DAO. So basically, you choose who you want your council member to be, and of course, council member need to be your local social tokens. That means it gives the opportunity for you to decentralize the community, right? I'll give you an example. If Michael Jackson created a BitCountry before, and then a lot of people have their Michael Jackson tokens. Now they will be able to participate in the DAO of a Michael Jackson Kingdom, even Michael Jackson is not around, because they can still make decisions. For example, creating new supply of Michael Jackson local social token, or creating minting new land, acquire more land from network to increase their metaverse realm size. Things like that or can be managed through DAO. Of course, we want to creating a kind of a grouping structure. So this allow a guild structure here. So have different teams working different activities. At the group level, you also have a sub-DAO scenario. People can use that to manage a team and distribute their benefits.
That's awesome. So how would one go about creating, like say I wanted to create the Bandiverse? How would I? What's the process of creating my own little plot in BitCountry?
Oh, very easy. Almost just the first one step plus a optional step. Firstly, you need some new. You either buy it from exchange or from DEX. You come to BitCountry, hit the button, create a new BitCountry, put your name there, description, select a theme, and then they'll ask you, do you want to create your social token or not? If you could take a yes, you create a BAND coin, you call it BAND, right, as a ticker, and then you choose your total supply, and then our protocol enforces you to put a certain amount of your token to the liquidity pool in a swap, and then the liquidity pool need to pair with our new. That means you can provide 20% your BAND coin with a certain number of NUM as a backing in the liquidity pool. So this way, on day one, people who has your coin, they can change to NUM, which has a real world value because our token will be listed on exchange. And then you can do is, but as you know, at the time you're minting your token, you can choose how strong you want to back your BAND coin. Of course, we have a minimum requirement, so because we want to have a little bit a cost associated with it, so that you have a commitment to your community, future social token holders. At the same time, when you mint your social token, we also ask you to select a vesting period. So you don't have your own token. You can't really liquidate it straight away after you mint it. So that's again a contract for your future social token holders. And then hit the confirm, pay the fees or the cost, and then you got a BitCountry. On the BitCountry level, by default, you have one block of land you can use. It's 100 times 100 square meter, and then that's on your map. What you can do is you keep acquiring land blocks from a network treasury. There's a limited supply, only release a certain amount of land a month, and then you can keep expanding your map, right? And then behind the map, you can see like a Google map, right? But it's with your blocks of land. You could drag a little man there. You go into Street View, then you're into the metaverse. You can build, you can import a 3D model, put the NFT there, and if there's a game in the future, you can participate in the game.
Well, I mean, this sounds super cool because everything that I've seen so far in metaverses is very much like a set amount of land, and you're building on top of a world that already exists, and you have a plot within that. It sounds like BitCountry. Well, I mean, the idea of country suggests that there's a parallel with the physical world, and there's quite a lot of interest in sort of decentralized governance, voting decision making. And how do you see this? Like, do you see it being a giant experiment with the real world that we could learn lessons from, or do you see it as this kind of this gamified silo from that?
Yeah, we'd like to see it as a gamified fantasy world, because a digital human inside the metaverse, they don't need food. We need the food. It's a fundamentally different experience. But however, we like to see that the world is more like a matrix. Everything is digitized, made up by bits, 0 and 1s. That's why we're providing mining opportunities that allow user on the network, for user whoever on the land, they can mine for bits. Bits is a material that you need to use that to build your land. For example, each unit cube in your metaverse, it consumes 1 bit. And the people, have a land, they have mining power, they can earn bits. So people can sell it, trade it. For people who want to save time, they can just buy the bits and build it up. So we're creating an earning opportunity there for people who can add value to the network, to the community, to earn bits as a source of income. And bits are very useful. that's almost the base material for everything in the metaverse. And of course, you can use Noom or social token to buy bits as well. Yeah, so that's the experience we want to create. Of course, it's a social experiment. It's in the Web3 paradigm. That's how we see the community should look like. The experience should be a user should have an ability to earn and owning part of the community, and that's one of our visions doing this project.
What kind of activities will visitors be able to participate in? Is there going to be like a kind of a reference country, a bit like our Leptonite app, where people can get ideas about what sort of country they want to create or visit, or are you just going to open it up and just let people run free?
Yeah, it's a 3D immersive environment, and we'll be supporting VR as well. Firstly, you need to pick your avatar. You dress up with the wearable NFTs, hat, jacket, shoes, socks, as you like. And you can even customize the shape of your avatar. And once it's done, you go to the world, you'll get an avatar you created. And then you will walk around, you can build stuff on the land that you own. If you go into the wilderness part of the world, you can start mining for the bits. As I mentioned, you need to own some land. So you probably want to buy some land in the world, somewhere. In the banned world, you can subdivide the land blocks you put on the map. You can sell it to other people because people need it. Land means mining power, because we believe that only landowner has a need to use bits to build up your world. That's pretty much the user experience. So there'll be multiple channels of mining. In the wilderness part, you need to fight and you use guns or some kind of weapon to fight bugs. As said, it's in the Matrix. You fight bugs, monsters. You can find the treasures. So those things you get reward through with the bits, right? On the mobile, we think you need to have certain added value activities, such as view, sponsor NFTs, check out NFTs, have a daily task to do, and then you can earn the bits. And bits can be traded on the marketplace. There'll be demand for bits because people need it to build up their world. But people don't have time, and it's worthwhile for them to just buy off from those miners. In certain area of the world, you can install a game. Those games are developed by the user community in the game store, and so people can play all the games that are created by the user. So that's the ultimate experience.
Sounds good. Sounds really good. You mentioned earlier that you got lots of influencers on board because you see the social aspect as being very important to this. Can you sort of, not necessarily the influencers themselves, but can you elaborate on what the social aspect means, and I guess what you think that the metaverses mean in a social context, and like where the future of metaverses lies?
Yeah, I believe metaverse is all about experience and ownership. Firstly, you bring them to a new dimension, right? Like we have influencers like Mr. Beast and the KSI. They are also our seed round investors. I tell a story that Mr. Beast can create a Mr. Beast world. Mr. Beast can set up all the KPIs and tasks for their fans to earn their social token, the Beast coin. This will give them the opportunity to add value to the entire Mr. Beast community, at the same time make a earning and owning something inside the community. So now the fans community benefit by just watching, engaging with the community, but they don't really necessarily get any reward apart from entertainment and knowledge. Whereas in Web3 social environment, not only they get those things, but also they have ownership in the community. They benefit the growth of the community through the token value, through the asset, the land, NFTs. So overall, either through asset ownership point of view or experience point of view, Web3, a big country's goal is to bring the engagement to a whole new level.
I see a lot more, these days of metaverses being spoken about, and a lot more engagement with them. And I think especially sort of post-pandemic, that they've just exploded massively, because everyone's been locked at home, your social circle's been reduced, and like one of the beauties of the metaverse is that you can be anyone anywhere in the world, and you can be whoever you want to be. And I think that's really powerful. So you might have been locked inside in somewhere that isn't the best place, and not necessarily where you want to be, but you can go online, you can get into this world, you can be this person you want to be, and meet all these amazing people all over the globe. Like, the metaverse has no borders. You don't need to get on a plane. There's no passports. It's just a case of being there and being present. And I've seen on Twitter, like, a few people have met through the metaverse, and like they've got married, and it's awesome to see. It's this literal, like, digital to physical kind of thing, which I'm going to throw a little plug in for both on here. We do digital to physical commerce, but metaverses do digital to physical relationships at times, which is amazing. Where do you see the future of BitCountry? I'm guessing you're not going to get into the wedding planning industry, but where does the future lie? Obviously, you're starting with everyone being able to create their own avatar, and I've actually seen some demos. It's really cool. Like, you can put your own face on your avatar. And what's the future? Where do you see it? Is it events? Is it commerce? Is it just like an all-encompassing digital world?
I would see the future of metaverse is not just replicating what we got in the real world. It's creating new experience, new story, and then new things that we don't have here. A lot of even me is trying to replicate the real world, but I think metaverse should have their native experience. Thanks to blockchain offers a whole open economy that connects the value between our physical life to the metaverse. I want to see that in the metaverse, there will be new opportunities to be created, and also believe in the future, society will have a universal income. That means majority of the population do not need to work. However, they need to have a purpose. I believe that those purposes could be realized in the metaverse in the future. Especially with a carbon reduction scheme that we running all over the world. Inside the metaverse, with the new opportunities, activities creating there, that will reduce the amount of carbon emissions. Like, we don't have to commute that much. It's not necessarily the good thing, but somehow that has a solution to reduce it. It's more important than we have a planet than having fun. So I do feel that metaverse will create a new relationship between identities, and also the concept of a digital companion will be created. Depends how immersed we can get in there. If one day that we have the device like a Ready Player One, or like those one mentioned in the Black Mirrors, I definitely think, metaverse will become the superhighway of happiness and the dreams. And then I can't even think beyond that. How we define a human will become different by that point. But I think there's still a little gap between now and then. And then now, at the moment, is a visual experience, replicating the real world, and have a real open economy. But those are enough and very exciting enough to get us and go in there and to innovate and experience this thing.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to the new world of going into a metaverse and playing sports, or going shopping, or going to visit friends and family, or even conferences. And when that becomes like this fully immersive thing, like I don't need to go to Paris, hence the French t-shirt here. Don't need to go to Paris or Australia, New Zealand, America. Like, there'll be these online hubs where people can congregate, and it will be almost like a seamless transition. Speaking of which, like one final question here is, obviously there's user experience issues with Web3, like on all levels, and for your average person out there, they go to an online store, they put something in their basket, they put their credit card details in, and it shows up at their door. And it's something that people are very used to, like debit cards and credit cards have been around for years. Have you thought about how you're going to tackle that aspect of it and make it easier for people to get into the metaverse without necessarily having to download a wallet, for example?
Yeah, I mean, we are not a business-specific solution for protocol. We are more like creating an open world, allow partners to come in to bring their solution over. For example, Boston doing commerce, we want to make our API platform as open as possible, that you can create anything that you think that's interesting. We also, on network, of course, we have the default token currency. That's our native token, and that's our business model. And we're happy to allow people to build their own business model. That's the whole purpose about BitCountry. BitCountry is an open platform. It's on blockchain-based nature. Our ledger, everything is all public, so anyone can do anything with it, because all the transaction and is open, right? I do believe that e-commerce in metaverse will be a big thing in the future. Not only bring the traditional Web 2 commerce to Web 3, but also just based in Web 3, metaverses will be new items that do not exist in our physical world, but will be needed in the metaverses, because itself is a new paradigm, have a lot of new things, such as, for us, our digital human has a digital companion. In the real world, it's a pet, but in the digital world, it's a thing. Can be dog, cat, even can be a robot. But the robot will need decorations, those things, NFTs. They will need kind of a new way of e-commerce and new items to be transacted in the Web3 e-commerce.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's awesome, and the digitization of these worlds will create these amazing new experiences and things that people can do and exist in. Like, we're not controlled by the limits of the human body, where the only limitations will be the mind, and the human mind it's a lot more powerful than the body. Like, I think, I wonder if I can jump 10 stories high, but my legs say no, you can't. So it's definitely going to be an exciting time ahead. Just before I let you go, are there any closing remarks? Where can people find out about BitCountry and keep up to date with the latest news?
Yeah, the best way to get the latest update is follow our Twitter, which is BitCountry. Our handle is bit.country, spells as DOT. And also make sure to check out our website to get some testnet Noom, our token, so you can participate in the testnet prize competition. So we will launch our testnet in a couple of months publicly. Now we're doing internal testing. Should be fun. Imagine you can create your own kingdom, your own social token, mint your own land, create your own map for your friends and families. And if you're a larger community, get your community members to own a slice of asset in your world. So not only they'll be happier, they will help you to become a bigger community. At the same time, the contribution will be rewarded. So that's us. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Looking forward to working with the Boston team.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and best of luck getting testnet out there, and really looking forward to that coming out and building my own little universe or metaverse, sorry. And having a little explore around. So thank you, Ray. Really appreciate that. And I know it's getting late for you, so I'll leave you be, but yeah, really appreciate your time. Thank you.